Reportedly, the Dolphins have agreed, with the blessing of their owner, have agreed to the terms of a deal with Houston to bring Deshaun Watson there to be their quarterback. Now, we don't know what they are. Is Tua involved? How many picks are there? What are the, we don't know the details, but reportedly they have agreed to the terms. But Miami's owner wants Deshaun Watson to settle the 22 civil suits against him. Right now, there are no criminal charges. So that's good, I guess. So there's nothing to settle there. So theoretically, if he were to settle, then he's ready to go. And he might be good to go forever. I mean, they could eventually bring criminal charges, and then you got to deal with that. But right now, if he settles and is able to settle, he would be cleared to play going forward. The league may step in and give him, make him exempt, put him on the commissioner's exempt list. Well, but long term, at least for now, he'd be good to go. Rob G, am I missing anything? Now, I know Watson is saying he doesn't want to settle, or at least that was his stance before. Rob G, anything else we need?
Well, yeah, so just to clarify, according to the Houston Chronicle, the two sides have agreed to a deal under the condition being, number one, that Watson settles these civil cases. Right. So to get that distraction out of the way.
We haven't seen this story being reported on ESPN. I'm just curious. How come this trade isn't reported? Is it because they didn't get it?
No, I think it is.
I mean, there have been other reports from The Athletic and ESPN that have basically said that Watson,
they've agreed.
Yeah, that Watson has pretty much said to anybody, the only team I'm going to get traded to is the Dolphins. So that kind of.
But I haven't seen a story. But okay, I get it.
So wasn't there a story though? Didn't ESPN? I thought they did.
They reported that. ESPN reported a couple of things. They reported that the Panthers were involved in a potential trade, and then that came out earlier today that they're out of it. So it's just the Dolphins.
Right, but I mean, when I look on their site, they don't have anything on their.
Oh well, because I mean, like you said, Rob, this is not really a report because there's no trade yet. This is just.
But it is news that if they've agreed to the terms.
I get that. I'm not saying that. Yeah,
I don't think you're going to see on ESPN.com rumors of a potential trade until it goes down. But anyway, Stephen Ross wants the trade to go down, provided that the civil cases get settled. And Roger Goodell already said that he will not be on the commissioner's exempt list while the investigation is ongoing with the police. So he would be able to play this season. And Mr. Ross also wants a idea, wink, wink, from Roger Goodell that if this trade goes down, because we know a suspension is coming at some point, just because he embarrassed the Shield, whether he gets off
because you
on
don't
all
have
that
to
anyway.
be convicted of anything. We've seen this
here's
already.
The thing.
Right.
If he's going to be on the exempt list, say 8 games to start next season, and I'm Miami, I'm still down with this.
Right.
That's it.
So that's also part of it. Is he wants to know, hey, between you and me, let's say I make this deal. I know he's going to get suspended at some point, but let's say he doesn't get criminal, go to jail, criminal charges. What kind of a suspension am I looking at? And so that's what's holding up this deal, reportedly, according to the Houston Chronicle.
Well, here's the other issue I have. If the police have been investigating this, they could have said there'd be no charges filed. I don't understand what the holdup. Forget about the civil case, right? This has been going on for 6-8 months, right? You interview the people, Chris, the women, and you get their statements, and you get his statement, and like what's the holdup on whether or not the Houston police could say there will be no charges and the investigation's over. We looked into it.
I don't think they've completed the investigation.
This long?
I mean, what are the reports, Rob G, right? That they haven't completed?
The latest report is that the investigation is ongoing. I think, Rob, the bigger problem with that is that there's so many women, and if there's 22 that are public, you have to imagine
and then there's 10 more.
Yeah, you also imagine there's a few that are not public, that are not known yet. So I'm sure that they're crossing all their T's.
This has been going on for 6 months, 8 months. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're right.
This is a long investigation.
It's a lot of people to talk to, though.
Yeah, okay.
But so here's the question I want to throw at you, Rob. Deshaun Watson has insisted on his innocence. Okay, so of course he has, right? I get that. But he is insistent that he's innocent. and that he will not settle because he wants to prove that he's innocent. He doesn't want this attached to him at all. If you were in his shoes, and let's just say once he settles, he's good to go, for the most part, and he can play, would you settle?
Given the circumstance and what's happened and whatnot, I probably would settle, because I don't think you're ever, even if you actually, the charges aren't brought on or whatever, and you have to wind up paying, like the burden of proof, Chris, is a lot easier in a civil suit, right?
Right.
So you could lose that, and
O.J. Simpson lost the civil case.
Exactly. Like he was right. He was set free to walk, but he had to pay through the nose in the civil suit. Right. So if I'm going, like, my name's been dragged through the mud, there's no way I'm going to get out of this clean, and people not thinking that there was something there where there's smoke, there's fire. At this point, and all the money I've wasted with Rusty Harden and his, hourly wage, Chris, what he's paying, and all the endorsements I lost, I'm going to cut my losses. I'm just going to settle. I don't want a drawn out case. I don't want any more. This has gone on way too long. Had I been in this situation, I'm going to be honest, probably would have paid the first woman, paid her off before it went public. What is the damage? What do I need to pay?
So then what if all these other women would have came out?
No, but I don't see. I don't think they all come out
giving out money.
No, but I don't know. But she can't announce that there was any kind of settlement, a part of me paying her. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let me ask. So the first woman, let's say you're in those shoes. The first one woman comes out. You're just right away paying her? Like, if you think, if you're like, yo, I didn't do nothing. Why am I paying,
The reason I'm paying, Chris, is I know that my behavior hasn't been good, and the potential of other women coming out. That like, you could say what happened, my behavior of flying women in from all over the country for massages or whatever, and I see what's brewing and what potentially could be there. Yeah, I'm not doing a 20/20 hindsight. People settle all the time, not because they're guilty, but because they don't want this attached to their name. They don't want it out there. I understand it from a legal standpoint. I would, Chris. I would have settled.
From the outside looking in, from where I'm at, as a guy that, I want justice to be served, but who knows if justice is going to be served?
It doesn't always happen.
Right?
That's the problem. Right.
I'd like to see Deshaun Watson be able to, if he's guilty, look, I'm not going to defend him, but, I'd like to see him be able to play football. And, if he goes to the Dolphins, I just think it'd be interesting to see. So selfishly, kind of the fan in me is kind of feeling like, man, go ahead and settle. But if I was in those shoes, if I was in his shoes, right? And again, if I wholeheartedly believe that I was innocent. Now, if I know what the women are saying is true, that's a whole nother thing. But he's saying it's not true. So I'm just going off that premise, Rob. Okay, if I know I didn't do anything, right? And they're lying, man, I think I'd fight it. And you're right that maybe some people always would think you're guilty.
No matter what.
Right. And a good example of a guy going the other way is Kobe. And Kobe settled in the civil suit, right?
Yep.
Was cleared in court, but settled in a civil suit. And that did not stick to him. Now, I don't know if that's because he was just so great at basketball. He was such an icon, right? Maybe if he wasn't as good, it might have stayed. I don't know.
And it was the time, Chris. If that would have happened now, it would have been totally different, like during these times. Because Kobe was flying on the team plane to go into a rape case. Like, that would never happen. A team would never fly one of their players on a team plane, and he was playing games. You remember that?
I hear you. And look, what he as bad as what Deshaun did, Kobe's was rape. That was the allegation, right? But so that's worse. But I don't know. Look at Deshaun. You would think in the environment we're in today, Rob, where everybody's obviously a lot more sensitive to these things, Me Too and all that. you might think he's done. But you got these teams trying to get him. I mean, okay, it's one team. You got a few others that would love to have him, but one team that's out there willing to trade for him. So, I mean, has he really been stung? His career looks like it could go on if he can just get clear to these charges.
But, Chris, this is where you got to look at. The first woman wanted $100,000 to settle. And I know you're saying it. I'm not giving up any money to somebody who came in and made up a story. But he said no to that, and then all this blew up. And we saw this kind of in the Bill Cosby thing too, Chris, with his situation. You remember, started with one. He had, and they have all the records. He paid off a ton of women in the past. He decided he wasn't going to do that, and then before you know it, there was 60 women who were saying they were drugged by Bill Cosby and he had sex with them or whatever. All I'm saying is, if you knew that there were more women, say that didn't happen with this woman, Chris. This is my scenario to you. But you know you've flown in women from all over the country for massages. You know you had sex or sexual play with some of them. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
So you're saying the ones that aren't suing him?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's probably a bunch out there that were
right. Look, but I'm saying
that might have been with it. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying, you know, there are other women out there. Is what I'm saying. Even though the first woman who comes to you with the $100,000 is.
But see, that's where we're differing. He's denying any wrongdoing. What's out there, what's been reported, is wrongdoing.
Right. No, right? I get it.
And he's saying I didn't do any of that. So yeah, you're saying basically, if you're guilty of this stuff, he didn't rape anybody, at least no allegations.
But I'm saying,
but if you're guilty of all this other stuff that they're saying you did, then settle. But if I'm not, if I feel like I really didn't do anything, I got a regular massage. I got 30 regular massages. All right. And I hear you. It looks bad for him. Right, you're flying in women who aren't even masseuses.
That's what I'm. They're
Chris,
just there you go.
Good looking,
there
and they
like
right.
That's,
I don't think they're all real masseuses, are they?
And that's the thing is
it looks bad. I get
you. Like that stuff is there, and you know that. You know you've flown in 100 women from all over the country. Like, you know that.
Right. I mean, look, if I'm guilty, I'm settling. Right? If I'm him. But if I'm like totally above board, then I think I want to clear my name. But